everyone, and welcome. It's Shanna. Now, this morning I'm going to be working with some not too shabby products, and we have got the Grit and Grunge collection. Let me see if I can find my paper pad here so I can show you. So this is what we've got. We've basically kind of got the bundle for this. And I've got the Grit and Grunge, and you have 12 designs. And this is just real rustic looking. Kind of looks like a tire track there, or a boot tread or something like that. Some stripes. I've got some panels here that I'm going to be working with. But it's just really fun. This has got some words in the background with some, just really rustic looking. Very fun. And I just thought it'd be fun to work with this morning. So I'm just kind of showing you all the different pattern papers here. I need to get to my comments and see who's here. Who have we got? Okay, we've got Jana, Yvette, Gloria, and Daria, and Lori Fall. Welcome, everyone. Glad you're here, and we're just going to be working with this. What I thought I would do is the ephemera for this is just these 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 squares that have like camping scenes. We've got like a tent with a fire. This is one where you're kind of kayaking, or, and then another tent. And we've got some fishing and some hiking. I'm trying to get to there. There's some fishing. And we've got some more fishing and hiking and different things like that. So what I thought, since, the ephemera is so set, that we would use some sketches for these and just kind of fill them in. And so I went back through. I have a folder where I put all my KCC past sketches in there, and I just kind of flipped through and tried to find some designs that would work really well with these types of panels. So I went ahead and did some cutting, and I thought we would do that. So, but before we get started, I need to stamp some of these sentiments. We've got Keep Calm and Go Fishing. I love fishing. The best memories are made hiking. I already made a card with this for my son-in-law. Actually, you'll see it on a KCC live or a KCC hop that's coming up. But because he and his buddies have an annual trip every year where they go hiking, they sleep in hammocks, and I don't know, just very rustic. Anyway, You Are My Greatest Adventure. Camping is my therapy. Come get lost with me. Escape to the unknown. Wander where the Wi-Fi is weak, and always take the scenic route. So very fun. I thought I would just stamp some of those out. Janice says she loves this collection. I know you guys maybe have seen it. I was kind of a little late to the game getting it, and so you're probably seeing it after the fact. But I'm going to work with it, and maybe I'll do something a little bit different than what you've seen. Maybe not, but I just thought it would be fun to work with. Now, normally I go live with Daria on Monday mornings, but she's had a lot going on, as have I, and she just wasn't ready to go. So hopefully next week we'll be back on track. I'm flipping this over because it felt like it wasn't very sticky on that side, and I just flip it over. Anyway, so hopefully she'll be back on track and ready to go next week. And if not, that's okay too. Highly flexible. So I'm just going to stamp 4 of these sentiments. And I'm going to use this black and use this Hero Arts pigment ink here and see what it does. So I think that'll be fun. Let's do camping. Oh, some of these are kind of big. I'm going to try and do some of the smaller ones for, and then this one I think will work. Let's do Always Take the Scenic Route. I think that's fun. All right, so we had a storm blow in yesterday, had quite a bit of rain and some boomers. And then today it's a little bit cooler. So I've got my long sleeves on and my long pants on today. So Pat's at the gym. Good morning, Dawn. Hey, we missed you last night. Hope you're doing okay. Good to see you. I know you've been working with all your crafty supplies that you got, so. Anyway, so Pat's at the gym, and then per our usual Monday, he said when he gets back, I hope that's not dirty, that we would go get our breakfast, and then he's going to go grocery shopping. I don't know that he'll invite me to go grocery shopping because the last time we went, I kind of ran the bill up. So he doesn't like, I don't like to grocery shop, so I don't want to go anyway. And if he doesn't want me to run the bill up, that's fine. I don't care. I just see everything. I'm like, ooh, I need that. I need that. I need that. But anyway, so let's get this stamped and we'll just see how it goes. Now I think I can mention, I'm going to do some guest designing for Not Too Shabby in April, and I've got some product that I'm going to be using. Oh, you had a crazy weekend. Oh my gosh. It sounds like last week was just crazy for everyone. Daria and I were talking, and she had a rough weekend. I had those kids overnight, 3 nights last week, um, and then of course all through the day. What am I doing here? I had them, so I'm gonna just give this another stamp, and then we're gonna heat emboss it. So I was worn out. Westy didn't have school, so I had both of the boys all day long, every day, and it was just, and they were just full of energy, and it was just crazy. And so I'm glad to just have a quiet Monday to just do my thing. And so I'm going to just be hopefully spending a lot of time in my craft room playing with all my goodies. So that's what I'm got planned. I thought I brought in a sheet of paper to emboss on. Yeah, I did. And I don't know what's on here. It's something that, oh, I looked at something from Polly's Paper Studio. I printed something off of it. Anyways, we'll just heat emboss these. Hopefully they'll look nice, and we'll have some good sentiments when we get assembling. So yeah, I've got some Not Too Shabby product that I'm gonna guest design with next month. One of Jamie's friends reached out to me on Instagram and said, would you be interested in guest designing? And I'm like, absolutely. I love Not Too Shabby. And so that's how that came about. I almost missed the Instagram. I'm not real good about checking Instagram. So I almost missed it. And then I just happened to catch it a couple days later. And I said yes. And I thought, gosh, I hope I'm not too late. But anyway, I don't think I have any little brushes in here to use. Do I? Yes, I do. I kind of had moved some things around. And so I don't have as much nearby as I did before. I didn't even use my anti-static powder tool, so we'll see how this goes. Anyway, so that's what's going on. So Daria says that our storms are moving in her direction. I'm going to get this heat tool going, try and get it warmed up down here where it won't be too loud, and then we'll bring it up and heat it up. Hoping to create and play catch up on YouTube. I missed. Yes, for sure. That's where I'm at. So I can tell I kind of crossed a little bit hard on this one, but hopefully it'll be all right. Well, they're not perfect, but it's going to be rustic anyway, so it'll be fine. Let's see. Today, after my coffee, I'm going to have a dog day alone with God day, needed after my weekend. I love that little phrase. I had not heard that before, so that's nice. DAWG, day alone with God. That's what we all need regularly. So what's Gloria asking? Hope all is well, and Daria says it's getting there. So good. So we've got some sentiments. Let's just get started making some cards. I thought since these were guy cards, it might be fun to have a black card base on some of them. So I went ahead and did a black card base, and I've got a white panel to go on the inside. And that'll be nice. So I don't know if you guys caught, Jay and Lala did a faith journaling. I think they're going to have a little series that they're doing on Lala's channel. So I don't know if you check that out, but Jay is real interested in faith journaling and kind of getting into the word and stuff. And so they did that. I was sharing with him yesterday because we've been watching the Chosen series, and maybe I've told you guys this and I'm repeating myself, but we have been watching the Chosen series in our Sunday school class. And I was telling Jay about it, that he might want to check it out. It is really, really good. So I would highly recommend it if you are interested, because it's really good. So what I've got here is sketch 4 from KCC 13, and you've got 3 layers of paper there. My third layer is actually going to be this, and so I just need to figure out what I want to layer it with. I'm pretty sure I don't want to layer it with the black since we're laying it on black, so I'll bring in some brown panels, and actually I might want to put, let's just do the brown, and we'll leave this as our background color, and that'll save us on some. So I've got this square that's a 2-inch square. So I just need to create a background piece for it. So actually, this actually is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I need 2 1/2. It's going to be a little bit off compared to my sketch, but that's okay. That's the whole doing your own thing. Oh, I actually had one of those already cut, but we've got that. So then we need this one is, I need a 3-inch square. Hopefully I can get a 3-inch out of this. Yes, I can. Okay. So we need a 3-inch square. My 3-inch. So yeah, if you haven't checked out the Chosen series, I would highly recommend it. It really brings the stories to life and helps you to see them as humans, you know, and kind of what they went through and all that. I think that seems like I cut it too big, but I don't know. Maybe I cut this one wrong. No, 2 1/2. I think I cut it to 2, yeah, 2 1/2. What did I do this one? Let me look this again. I think I needed to do 2 3/4 is what I needed to do. Yeah. Anyway, so it's very captivating. And if you know the stories of the Bible, it's just so interesting to see how they kind of brought it to life and the accuracy thereof. I mean, it just seems like there's so much accuracy to it. So it's really good. And the actors are fantastic. I think you kind of have a favorite, you'll fall in love with a favorite character. My favorite on this is Matthew. He's kind of, he is very detailed in the documentation and stuff, and he's kind of antisocial, and it's just really good. So I would highly recommend it if you're interested in that. So this one would kind of go like that, and then we would bring this one back in like that. So let's go ahead and get it laid down on here. And we can, we could flip these any way we wanted, but I want to have some contrast to that. So I'm going to do it this way. But this is just such fun paper. And, I always need cards for men. Now, last night I did on my live, I made a couple of cards, Father's Day cards, using the Fairways and Fishtail Story dies from Spellbinders, and they were super cute. Let me grab them real quick and I'll show you. Hi, Ruby. Welcome. I had them on my little picture taking area, so I made this one last night. Super fun. And then the golf one last night too. Just really fun. I was real pleased with those. That was fun. And I've already got my Father's Day card. Actually, I have 2 out of the way. So that's nice. Anyway, so yeah, it is wonderful paper, Daria. I like it. And you could really go crazy with it. I'm not too crazy this morning because, like I said, I had a pretty rough week last week, and I'm just kind of taking it easy on myself. And that's why I thought I'm just going to grab some sketches from KCC 13 and use them, and we'll go from there. So I need to bring in, you'll be watching the replay. Awesome. That'll be fun. Let's see. This one calls for vintage photo. I need to grab my dauber for that. I like to distress these. Yeah, we had a good group of people on there last night. And Jay did, just so you know, Don, he did chocolate. He had not too shabby chocolate paper pack that he did. And it was so funny because he was doing that and he had sent me a package. I won the chocolate on his live and he had sent me a package. And I had planned to show the package that he sent and to eat the chocolate on the live. So it was funny. We had two chocolate things going on, right, one right after each other, and we had no idea that we were doing that. So it kind of worked out well. But anyway, so that was fun. Where did you watch the series? Okay, the series, and Jay asked me that too, where you could get it. We are watching it in our Sunday school class, and our Sunday school teacher has all of the DVDs or or the disc or whatever. I don't even know what that is anymore because we don't do that anymore. But anyway, so he has all of those, and so we've been watching it in there. But I did a quick scan, and it looks like you can watch it on Amazon Prime, and then if you have Amazon Prime. And Jay said that he found that there's a Christian YouTube channel that has it, that if you, I don't know, join or something, you can watch it there, is what he said. So he did a little research after we had talked, and that's what he came up with. But I think you can find it. And there is a new, there's 4 seasons that are complete. And then there's a 5th season that's just now coming out that is not quite there. Now, I hindsight, I would have maybe embossed this or something just to make it interesting, but I think, it's a kind of a masculine card, so I don't think it really matters. So actually, this one's supposed to go kind of wonky. I was putting it on there straight. So anyway, you think it's called Angel? I think you might be right. I think you might be right. But yeah, it's just, and I'm not one to sit and watch. I don't watch any TV. I just don't. Unless, Pat has on Andy Griffith and we're eating or something, I might catch a little bit of that, but I just don't watch TV. And so for me to get, and I've been just enthralled with it. It's just been so good. And like one day I was kind of sick. Well, you guys know, because I've had that cold and everything. And I was like, well, I could stay home from church. And I was like, no, I can't stay home because I'll miss an episode of it. So that's how good it is, because I just did not want to miss. What I'm doing is I'm just layering this up so that it's going to lay across these two, and I can feel that there's a gap there. So I'm just going to lay this on there and just kind of add a little extra stability to it. And my voice is really froggy this morning for some reason. And we'll get this laid down on there. Anywho, so if you have an interest in that, I would highly recommend it because it just brings it to life. And like I said, it appears that they've tried to be very accurate with it. And it really, makes you see kind of the human side of it and how, we all have our faults. You think of the disciples as being, the chosen and that, but man, they were human and they had the same, human problems that we have today, and they show it in that, and I think that's what makes it so interesting. So I would highly recommend. Anywho, so I don't know what else I'm going to do today, other than probably hanging out in here, and getting some rest. I did take a nap after we had the birthday party for Weston, my son-in-law, who was in the accident. We had his birthday party yesterday. We always celebrate birthdays on Sundays, and we had his yesterday. And he wanted my fried chicken. I let the kids pick out whatever meal they want for their birthday celebration, and he wanted fried chicken. Usually he chooses my meatloaf. The kids love my meatloaf, but he said fried chicken. So that was kind of an ordeal because, cooking fried chicken is not fast. And the kids are always hungry when we get out of church. So I had to hurry up and kind of get that fixed. So my sister was here and she helped me. So that was nice. I'm trying to figure out what cinnamon I want to use for this. This one didn't turn out really great. I feel like I want to just stamp some more. I think I will. Anyway, so that's what we've had going on. I've got them on my platform here. I'm gonna have to get them cleaned up and get them off of there. So just so you guys that don't, that fried chicken is a process for sure. Yeah. I also made where's my towel? I made green bean casserole, which I've got this Curtis Stone little multi-cooking unit thing, and I was able to put, because it takes a while for the green bean casserole, I was able to put it in, set a timer for it to start, and then use the setting on it. And I was able to get that made without having to worry about it. My sister came in and she immediately started peeling potatoes and boiling potatoes and getting the mashed potatoes ready. We already had the green beans ready, so I was busy, you know, getting the chicken all prepared and getting it fried up and everything. And then we had some biscuits, and then we had, of course, chicken gravy and brown gravy. I have to make two gravies. I have kids that like the white chicken gravy, and then those that like the brown gravy. So this might be the center inside of one of my cards, but we're going to use it anyway. So it was quite the process. And I'd made the cake. He likes funfetti cake, and so I'd made it the day before. So, oh yeah, the mess I have. It is a mess. But my son-in-law, not the one who was celebrating his birthday, but my son-in-law, my other daughters, he came in and was just like, and he's like me, we're ridiculous. It's like we clean the dishes before we put them in the dishwasher. He was like getting them all ready, and I have a system to stacking them. So he was getting them. So many hands make light work, basically. And that's what we were doing. So we got it cleaned up. Usually my husband does that, but and he was in there a bit helping as well, but that's what we did. Anyway, so it goes fast. And we had everything cleaned up, and the youngest kids were kind of cranky and crying, and I said they need to go home and go to bed. And so we sent them home, and they went to bed, and that was that. So I'm going to go with black on this, black on white, and it'll pop more off of this paper. And hopefully I'll get a better stamping with it. I didn't do a very good job. I don't know if we're gonna get anything made. It's 23 minutes. I've almost got one card. Anyway, so that's what we did. Yeah, it was really good. I do enjoy. I like to feed people. I think I got that from my mother, because well, for one thing, she always did the whole Sunday dinner routine for a long time, and then she eventually quit. But I picked that right up, and so usually my kids and my sister and her kids sometimes come. Usually her youngest son comes. He's local. Her older son they live in another town. So this little Keep Calm has a little wavy water line on it. Super cute. I think that's how that fishing one is too, but it just didn't emboss very well. It's like a little wavy, like it's below the water surface or something, and you've got little fish in the P and the A. Super fun. That font's really cute. So hopefully you can see that. Oh, thanks, Cece. I try. I don't know. I try to be, I try to serve my loved ones, and others as much as I can. I'd like to have a die set, but I don't know if I'm going to mess with that. I think I've got my little fussy cutting scissors here. I'll just fussy cut them out. So, anyway, but like I said, my mom always did that. And usually she always welcomed like strays in for the holidays, like, friends or people that she knew didn't have anybody to celebrate. So we always had people there that extra people. And we never knew, who it would be from year to year, but she always invited people for that. So I guess I get that from her. But I do like to feed people. I'm going to get my sticky scissors. Um, Dawn says she loves people. You did so much of it until you physically slowed down. Yeah. Yeah, I like to. It's fun, and um, I think I'm a fairly decent cook too. I mean, according to everybody who eats my food. So, and that gives me joy that, you know, that they appreciate it and they like it. And um, Hannah said that they didn't have the kids yesterday, and she said Wyatt was going to be upset that he didn't get Nana's fried chicken, but Hannah makes it too. So anyway, so I put "Come Get Lost with Me" on there. I like that with the white. I think because we've got the black background, it just looks better with. Oh, you did that too. Your kids chuckle at me still bringing in the strays. Yeah, my mom always did. She always did bring in the strays, and it was always fun, and interesting. And um, so, anywho, all right. Well, let's move on because I had planned to make, and I don't have this one cut quite right, but I had planned to make 4 cards. We'll see if we'll get it done. I'm kind of talking too much, more slow, but anyway, was those 5.5 or where's my sketch? Yeah, they were. Okay, they should have been. I don't know if I did it right, but anyway, so that's that. So we could put, there's a bit of green in this. We could make it look a little different by putting some green in it. And we could do that. I think we will. Basically, it's going to go like this. I thought you'd have a little bit of, I think I made it a little, it actually shows it layering, but I'm not going to do that, I don't think. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll just cut a little bit off of this and we'll have some green peeking out between it. So this is where I'm going to make the sketch personal and just modify it a little bit. My heater kicked on, so Pat said it is 40 degrees, but he said it really feels, it's 40 something, I think he said, but he said it really feels colder just because we've had all those warm days and everything, because we were really getting up there, and I was loving it. And he actually said he was happy about the cold, and I said, why? And he said to stunt, so the grass doesn't grow so fast, so quick, because then he has to start in, because he runs a mowing business, and he said, he's not quite ready yet to have to get out there and start getting after all of his customers. And he is full. He told me, he said, I'm full. I'm not taking anybody else on. Because he had some new people that had reached out to him and he went and checked them out and he's going to do them. So he's like, I'm full. And did I give myself enough room to, yeah, I got to get this on there straight. So Jim was telling you what happened in the assessment hearing. Won't know anything until June. Oh, that stinks. That's kind of stinky to wait. So Daria's talking about her tax assessment. They kind of raised their taxes up beyond what was realistic and comparable things. And so they're trying to get that squared away. That's what she's referencing, but y'all know how that goes. Today's tomorrow's it's supposed to be 72 and today and 40s tomorrow. We'll see. It's kind of gloomy though. We don't have that sun that we've been having. And I always enjoy that sun. That sun just makes me feel so much better just to see that sunshine. Let's get this laid down on there. I said last night on my live, I think I did take, I don't know how many cards to church yesterday, and that's still a little bit off, but it's okay. I don't think the men are going to be, well, they might measure. I was going to say, I don't think they'd be measuring it, but they might be. Who knows? Okay, so for this one, do you want to bring some brown in with the green? That might look nice. Or we could go green on green. Let's do that. We'll just be matchy-matchy. So I used this, a similar camping scene like that. This is similar. We've got this kayaking scene. That's got a good bit of green in there. I think I'll use it. Yeah, I need the sunshine too. I was thinking about that this morning. I wore a dress to church the other day with some shoes, and my legs are just so incredibly white. It's frightening. So my daughter, I think you guys know this. My daughter runs a spray tanning small business. It's part-time. She has a full-time job, but so I need to go over and say, Mama needs a spray tan. So I should go do that. That would just make me feel a little bit better with my pasty white legs. So this one called more for a rectangle, but I thought we could easily modify that and put this on here. So it's a pretty simple sketch for this, but I thought it would be fun. So we just need to add a sentiment to it. I think we'll do the wander where the Wi-Fi is weak on here. Yeah. I'll try to make this a little bit more interesting by doing a little rounded edge there. I need to cut this away. Just get it out of the way so I can angle it a little bit better. Okay, so when my sister and I had, speaking of cooking and everything, when we had the boys on Saturday night, my youngest daughter had called and said, I need you to watch the boys for my sister. And she said, we're going to go out and celebrate Weston's birthday. They haven't been out in a while. And so I need you to watch the boys. And I'm like, okay. So my sister's like, I'll come and help you. So we decided that I make I make homemade pizzas, and I always make two. And so I was like, oh yeah, come over and we'll make homemade pizzas. We can make cheese for the kids, and we can make everything for us. And so we did that while I was watching the kids, and she helped me with the kids. So, and she was like, man, she realized how much of a handful they are. She's like, oh my gosh, sister. She's like, I don't know how you do this every day. And I'm like, I know. Anyway, but I don't know what you guys like on your pizza, but when I make the one for Pat and I, we did cheese on half and pepperoni on the other half for the kids. And then when I make pizza for Pat and I put, first I do ground beef. We have that. And then we put the pepperoni on there. I do onions, green peppers, and green olives. And that's what we have on ours. I mean, it is a thick pizza. It really gets thick. The crust is thin, but the toppings are piled high. And we love it. So, and I kind of cheat because my sister said, how did you make your crust? Because I think I had it made before she got there. And I said, I buy one of those Chef Boyardee 2 pizza kits, and it has the crust and the sauce in it. They don't even put the Parmesan in it anymore. They used to put Parmesan in it, but they don't. And I just use the crust from that and the sauce from that, and then I add all of my extra goodies. And so that's what I do. And we always have the green peppers and stuff from our garden, onions and stuff from our garden and stuff, and I freeze them. I chop them up, freeze them, then I just pull them out. So anyway, I think that one's kind of fun. Wonder where the Wi-Fi is weak, and certainly it would be weak out here. But anyway, so there's that one. Now these next two are the two that excuse me, got my coffee here, where you cut them on the zigzag and you use the two different patterns for them. So these are going to look very similar, but we'll get going on those. So we need a what do we need? We need a 3 3/4 by 5 layer. And okay, we've got the black, the green. Let's do the brown. Ooh, we could use this. I just realized it's got the center cut out of it. I just threw a bunch of pieces to the side, and we could certainly use this, and it'll be all right, I think, as our base. I didn't put that on a card base, did I? I need to do that. Let me grab a card base real quick. Actually, I need to grab a couple. And I didn't even rough this one up. I could have put some green on there and roughed it up, but I didn't. So, and it's good and firm because that's Spellbinder's Fern cardstock and it's heavy duty. So we're going to have a nice solid card. Hi, Linda. I don't know if I said hi to you already. I have no short-term memory, so I might say hi to you and then say hi to you again. But welcome to everyone. Glad you're here. Just having a relaxing Monday using some sketches and the Grit and Grunge from Not Too Shabby bundle and just creating some cards. I've got KCC 13 here and just creating some cards. And I picked just the sketches that would go with these 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 panels. So that's what I'm doing. And I think we can use this one. It looks like this is a full layer, so we could use this one to lay down and then bring in another one. And that this isn't Spellbinders. We'll bring in a Spellbinders that will sturdy it up. So let's just use this for the base. And then we'll bring in another layer. And we can use our scraps. I've been using scraps. For my craft roulette card, I showed it on the live last night. I've had Eeyore laying around my craft room for I don't know how long, since whenever the Pooh set came out from Spellbinders. I had die cut him out and assembled him, but I had too many things for my cards, and I just didn't do anything with Eeyore, and he's been laying on my credenza there for quite a while. And so when Craft Roulette had the parameters were envelope, toys, children's story, and list. And so I used Eeyore and made my card with that. So I took a bunch of scrap things that were laying around just to bust them up, just trying to really kind of clean house. Now let's see, we've got a lot of different colors going on here. Let's go ahead. I've got some black panels here, so we'll go ahead and lay. Let's see what we have. Lay it down on black. So, anywho, it says 3 3/4 by 5. That on there. That's going to go like that. I think we'll go ahead and lay these down before we glue it down. Then if I totally mess it up, we can. And you could do either side of this pattern paper. That's got some green on it there. That might be fun. Yeah, I think we'll do it like that since we've got it on there. So, all right, I'm gonna try and lay this down and get some kind of a nice border on there. We'll see if I'm successful or not. Just get it laid down. So we've got this local restaurant that we go to is owned by a gal at our church, and her mother just passed away. I've got a card earmarked for her, and I need to get it ready so that I can take it to the restaurant with us. She had been living at home, and doing well. She had recently kind of had like an improvement. They had reduced her medicine, and she was remembering and actually having energy and getting up and doing stuff and everything. And Jackie was real hopeful about it. And then she had a fall and it just took her down. So, so that was kind of sad. And Jackie is just the sweetest. She is very much a servant-oriented person as well. She does a lot for the church and a lot for other people. This is really crooked. I don't know if I didn't cut it right. Hopefully I can get this laid down there and then we can trim that edge. Ooh, it's pretty. I'm gonna have to move it down. It's gonna have to be a little bit crooked, I think. Is that gonna work? Bring it down the rest of the way. We'll just bring it down and it'll just be, I'm gonna have that square on there, so hopefully that'll cover it up. Because see how it's all out of whack? I knew I was gonna have trouble with this. You gotta go. Your sister showed up. Have fun. That was Daria, so she has to go. Anyway. Yeah, it's kind of wonky, but I think our square is going to cover it up, so I'm not gonna fret. And we'll take this and Just looking for another one that I didn't use. Kayaking. It's a different kayaking one going in the other direction. Oh, here's one where we're standing up fishing. That'll be fun on there. And I'm going to bring in this brown square that I've already pre-cut for it. And we'll get it done. I think we're going to get all 4 of these done. So I don't know if we'll have breakfast or if we'll have lunch. We never know. She makes a breakfast burrito that is really good. And sometimes we have that. But my stomach is growling. So I'm going to be ready to eat when we get there. And it's fun because we live in a small town. And, you know everybody that's in there generally. My husband knows everyone. And so it's fun. You kind of get to see people and visit and everything. And since he is, doing the track meets and stuff on the weekends a lot, this is kind of like our time to get to go out together. And so we've just been doing it on Mondays when we can. Now, last week we couldn't do it because we had the boys. So we didn't do it. But anywho, that's what we're going to do. So we'll get this laid down. And then we have one more. Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. And you know what I forgot to do is I have all of these. Where are they? Where's my embellishments? We can come back and put them in. They're somewhere on this desk. I have the embellishments that go with this set. And I'm kind of banging everything around here. They're somewhere in this pile. Here they are. And I forgot to put those on. And what made me think about it was kind of to take away from the boo-boo air I have there. I don't know if I could. Anyway, let's go ahead and lay some of those down. We can bring our other cards back in and put them down too. Sometimes you just can't talk and think at the same time. Actually, I think it'd be nice to have like a brown one here. Brown ones there. I don't know, guys probably don't care about embellishments on their cards, but I think that looks nice. I always like the itty bitty ones. So I'll add those on there. This one calls for some green. How's that on there? And this one, we need the dark ones. I don't know. There we go. So we got those. Now let's do our 4th card. And hopefully, I'm going to try and lay it down better. I don't know. Maybe I got it mixed up. It should lay. Try to decide how to lay it like that, maybe. Yeah, let's go like this. And we'll do just opposite of what we did on the other one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them over. And then let's tape them and see if I can get them laid down better. I don't know. I think that's how I've done it before, is I'll like tape them up. Just kind of get a little edge on there. Where's that pink pixie tape? Well, I can't really do that because, well, I know what I can do. All right, let's just kind of do it like that. I don't know. It's going to be an epic fail. We'll do it like that, and then we'll tape it from the front because I need to be able to pull the tape off. Usually I tape it on the back when I'm going to put it all together to where it doesn't show. I think what the problem is, this edge is just a little bit longer here, and I need to allow it to be longer. And then I'll get a better line maybe on it. I don't know. It's just not, it just doesn't look right. Okay, I think that's probably as good as I'm going to get. I wonder if I switch them maybe. Any ideas on a better way to line these boogers up? Here's what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it like this. I think I'm switching them. Let's see if it lines up better that way. Yeah, I just have a wider gap there. I don't know if it's, if I turn it, if it would improve. That is the side I cut it on because I've got the green line there. I actually used a pencil. Yeah. Let's just do it. Maybe it's because I flipped it over that it's not lining up right. Or the fact that it was from two different panels. Yeah, we're not going to win. All right. We're just going to do it. I'm going to get the colors that I want. Is there anything going on in the chat? I'm just trying to keep up. Everybody just kind of watching, hanging out. All right. Well, we'll just get it lined up and get it down there. It's not going to be perfect. It's a handmade card. Not close at all. Oh, man. All right. We're just going to go for it. Let's see. Now, I did this one, and I didn't wind up putting that on there. So let's use green. I think this will look good. I'm giving up on that. I'm just going to randomly glue like I did because it's not getting any better. Maybe I'll lay them down on here and glue them down, and then we can trim around it and just see what happens. Because I think it needs to be a smaller panel. So I'll just try and get them laid down, and then we'll just cut it off. I think I'm thinking too hard at it. Generally, I'm not. I don't worry about being as precise. Some people are more precise than, definitely more people are precise than I am. I think that's why I'm the speedy crafter. I'm not quite as precise as others. Now these look decent, but I think when we get to the other one is when the wheels are going to fall off because it's just not, it's just a lot wider there. So we're just going to have to go with the flow, and it'll be what it'll be. Hey, Jay. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. I was kind of talking about our lives earlier where you were doing the chocolate pattern paper from Not Too Shabby, and then I was eating the chocolate that you had sent to me last night. So yeah, this is totally off, but it'll be fine. We'll just cut it down and go with it. So, oh, you're tired? Oh, I bet. Oh boy, that caused a problem too. Man, that's a mess. It's so uneven. I need to use my scissors. This is what not to do with paper crafting. That's what we're doing today. So we're just going to make a little tiny line around there with the green. Yeah, because it's all wonky. It's probably going to look interesting on the card. Well, the other three turned out all right. Okay. It kind of just looks like a weird pattern. Anyway, I'm going to make this one. I think this one's supposed to go up and down. So this is sketch 6 of 13. And it's supposed to go up and down. So, and it is quite wonky. This is just going to be a wonky card. We're going to call this a wonky card. And we'll get it laid down on there. Maybe we can do... It's totally off. Totally. All right, whatever. So I have... I wonder if we could put... These are so... I don't know if I could do... two scenes and maybe cover some of that up. That might hide some of that. Let's do that. And I don't even have any idea what that's going to measure out at. I'm thinking about layering them on some black. I'm just bringing in some black. And I'll just have to figure out I just need to make a line there. Do I have a pencil or something? Try and line it up. I'm going to line it up with the green. This is just trying to fix my air, trying to make it look halfway decent. Okay, so there's that. And I've got stuff taped and glued to my desk. Yeah, it was a great live with Lala. Hey, I see Nana's cooking craft corners here, and is it Becky? I'm trying to remember. My memory is terrible. Let me know. I'm trying to think. Okay, so we're just going to get these laid down on here. The card's going to go this way, and we're just going to have some of that showing, and that's going to cover up my boo-boos. So we've got hiking, and we're going to have fishing on here. I think this is a good way to... Your phone's messing up. Hi, Jamie. Just working with Grit and Grunge and some old sketches from Kendra's Card Challenge with the Grit and Grunge. And this is our 4th card. And I had trouble with my sketch, so I'm trying to recoup by adding an extra layer on here and going with it. So I think that's what we're going to do. Anyway, so I used some of these cards yesterday for my son-in-law's birthday celebration. I had made some. Actually, they're going to show up next week on a hop. But I used those for him for his birthday, and that's specifically why I bought this set, was because you had the hiking stuff, and he's a hiker, and I have some fishermen and stuff, and so very fun. But where are my, there we go, our enamel dots, and this one has fishing, so we've got the keep calm and go fishing that we can use on here. And we'll have to figure out how to get, we might have to put this on the inside. But this one, like I said, has a fun little water line in the middle of your keep calm stamp. And it's super cute. And then you got the little hooks in the A, or the little fish in the A and the P. So it's a really fun stamp on here. Anyway, so I'm just going to kind of fussy cut it out. And we'll go from there. So we're getting this wrapped up. So hopefully next week, Daria will be able to join me and we'll have some fun. So she's a great card maker. Doesn't do YouTube except on my channel. She said, I'm never going to have a YouTube channel. And I'm like, you don't have to. I said, you can just hang out with me and we'll craft. And I think she's had a lot of fun with it. And I've had a lot of fun. We correspond daily through Messenger and have a lot of fun chit-chatting and with each other. And so, yeah, I'm going to put that on the inside of the card, I think. So anyway, she is a fun, crafty friend, and I've had fun bringing her on. She gets the Caboodles kit from Spellbinders, which, so she's always got lots of fun product to work with. And she has such great card making ideas. She gives me tips. She'll watch a video and say, hey, here's an idea. Why don't you try this? And I was like, oh yeah. So she's got a lot of fun ideas and shares them with me, which is nice. And so we'll get our embellishments laid down on here. Okay. All right, so that one was a little bit messy, but it'll be okay. I don't know if that looked good on there or not. I was thinking about putting this on something and putting it on the inside. Let's bring in, I got an idea. I've got some strips over here. Let's just bring in a strip and put it on the inside. Looks like that card base got bent, which is highly possible. We'll just lay this at the top and just have some of our pattern paper on the inside and just add some interest to it. I'm giving this card a little bit more love since it was kind of a mess. And then we'll just lay this down on here like that. I think that'll be fun. So, oh, thanks. Dawn saying hi to Nana and Jamie, or Jay saying hi to Nana and Jamie, and Dawn says she likes watching both create. And so we'll just get that laid down on the inside. And that's cute. So let's just recap what we got here. I made 4 cards, and we did it, let's see, under an hour. That's not bad. And I had done some prep. So, you know, I'd done the cutting for the sketches. But anyway, these were old KCC 13 sketches. I chose them because they had great spots for these 2 1/4 panels. And so that's why I chose them for this particular ephemera, and I think they turned out nice. So I've got 4 more of these. We've got Come Get Lost With Me, and it's the little camping scene, and we've got the, you know, we can display a couple of the pattern papers. I did go ahead and put some vintage photo on there. I didn't on the other ones just because I got busy talking and didn't do it. Wander Where Wi-Fi Is Weak, and I think that one's really pretty too. And then we've got this one that I messed up, got it. And then we've got this fishing scene, which needs a card base. My brother is I said that last night, he's a fisherman. And so this would be a good card for him. I don't know if I kind of like that on the white, I think. I think it makes it look just a little different. I think I'll just lay it down on the card base. It's a pretty good layer, so it's already heavy. I kind of like that white background just to give it a little bit of a, make sure I lay it right. My sister was helping sort through cards the other night while we were having pizza and the kids and everything, and she was stamping them, and she gave me one card that I had glued on there upside down. She's like, something's wrong with this card. I'm like, oh yeah. I said, we'll just have to cut it off the panel and put it back down. So that's what you do when you have a problem. So we'll just fussy cut this I Love Fishing out, and we'll put it on there. And we'll have our sentiment on that one. And then that'll finish these up. Now this one, I think my embossing powder or user error, whatever, it didn't emboss as well, but it also has that little fishing line through it. So I think we could just lay that down on there. It's kind of simple. Probably cut it a little bit straighter maybe. And we'll just tuck it in like that on the side, and we'll have a little. So I've got some cards. We have a really good friend that likes to fish too, and I always give him a birthday card, so I'll have that as well. So I've got some good cards for some guys in my stash. So my sister likes to fish too, and camp. So anyway, well, that pretty much does it for today. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for hopping on, and stay tuned. Like I said, I'm going to be working with Not Too Shabby on I've got a video this week, and I'm going to have some more upcoming with some other product as well that is going to be super fun. So I appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for some more content with some new stuff. Oh, Dawn loves fishing too. Awesome. Jay loves the ephemera. Bye, Yvette. Well, take care, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.